Top of it. It's Dylan Alexander. Thanks for checking me out on another video. And today, just felt like taking a seat out here in this beautiful park. Good nature, man. It's nice and slow. You know, got this nice chair I found posted up by this tree. And I figured I'd just come here and just get some quiet peace and talk to y'all real quick about this subject I was thinking about, which is the fact that there's no real such thing as safety. Safety. It's not real. No matter how guarded you are, no matter what kind of defenses you put up, there's no real guarantee for safety. Your job isn't safe. You know. Now, I'm bringing this up because of the news we saw recently with Charlie Kirk getting sniped on. He got sniped in the neck, man. That was crazy. And it just had me thinking about this and the fact that, this guy, he's over here giving his opinions and things. And, here in good old USA, man, we have freedom of speech, as they call it. Freedom of speech to say what you want. But it ain't all the way free because, depending on what you say, you may strike a nerve with certain people who are willing to defend what they believe against what you're saying, to the point where they might have to take you out. And it just got me thinking of how just there's no guarantee of safety at all. It's an illusion. And this is something I'm very keen and aware of at all times. I never think I'm too safe and secure. There's no security. There's no safety, like I just mentioned. There's none of that. An asteroid could come out of nowhere and blow this thing up. Volcano, if you're living by a volcano, an earthquake could take you out. Lightning could strike you. It's all kind of stuff that can happen, right? Obviously, but it's like our whole lives we fight so much for safety and security, but it doesn't exist. And it's good to know that. It's good to never get caught up into believing that you are safe in any regard. And this is advantageous if you can think like this, because you're always on your toes, man. You can never really get caught slipping. You're never all the way caught off guard. Because I know most people, especially in first world countries where things are civilized and neat and tidy and everything's clean and sanitized, especially like I'm thinking of like a stay-at-home mom or a soccer mom or something. In their mind, they're safe and secure, everything's dandy. But a man should never think like that. I was never in the military, but I have a few friends that were. My father was, a lot of family members, and I'm pretty aware of a lot of the military things. But one of the things that I know a few of them are up on game about is OPSEC, Operation Security. I believe that's what it stands for. And it's always being mindful of points of failure. It's always being mindful of where you're vulnerable. And you have to be like that. If you want some relative level of safety and security, you have to be mindful of where you're slipping, where you can be caught slipping. And it happens to the best of us. You can do the best OPSEC ever. You can be aware of every weak, vulnerable spot in your life imaginable, but still you can get caught slipping. There's always a way to get you, So I'm bringing this up to say, man, especially as men, we have to be more mindful of our security. We have to be more mindful of making sure we're in good position to not have to be out here naked, so to speak, and super vulnerable, so we don't get caught slipping, man. Because I'm pretty sure, man, I think Charlie's gone, man. That dude's, he's done, man. I saw the video. I mean, blood was gushing. It was just, that's like some biblical stuff. When they say spilt blood, that was like spilt blood. That was spilling. And wow, you know, just that quickly, man. You're so vulnerable, man. You're speaking to this audience, and God knows what their intentions are. God knows how good the security level is, you know, how detailed the security is. You know, these guys ain't getting paid a whole lot, so they might let some things through. They might not be able to catch everything and whatnot, but regardless, it's up to you to be responsible for your own security, for yourself first and foremost, and for your loved ones, your family, your friends, etc., right? And this comes in every aspect of life, man. You really got to make sure you're on point. This is a great reminder to be on point in every single way. Make sure you're in shape so you can run. If times come like this, you know, I saw the crowd, a lot of the crowd, and that they weren't running that fast. You know, me, I stay on. I'm always running, so I would have been out of there. Sprinting is no problem. No matter what your age, you should be able to sprint. If your legs work, you should be able to use them to get up out of any situation as quick as possible, and not be all slow and laggard and fat and just out of breath. Come on, man. You know, people get too damn comfortable. Don't get too comfortable is another thing I want to mention. Don't get too comfortable, man. You know, it's just not, it's not a good look, and you're just leaving yourself too vulnerable. But as I mentioned, you know, the safety and security is in every regard. I mean, with your jobs, you know, you got to always be, every day, you got to be finding a way to secure yourself further with your job, with your, maybe your significant other. You know, it's like every day is a war. And I hate to say that because a lot of people will complain like, oh man, I can never just relax. I can never get a break and just chill. But it really, I mean, besides the moments, the few moments of life like where I am right now, I'm at this park, I ain't got nothing going on. Nobody's really, nothing to worry about. Maybe a couple families enjoying themselves. But I can really just kind of take a break and relax. You know, this is an example of that. But when you're out and about amongst people and you're just in a competitive environment or whatever, man, you got to be sharp. You got to stay sharp in every regard. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, sharp. I'm telling you, man, people take it for granted. They think it's just safe and secure. And then things happen and they get caught slipping, and now they're like, man, why didn't I see X, Y, and Z? But me, it's harder to get me slipping, man. And I still get caught slipping. I've been caught slipping, but, you know, usually if you catch me slipping, you did a good job. You were really doing your, you know, you were really on your toes, really planning things out. You know what I'm saying? Because besides that, I'll catch most slips. I'll catch most attacks, you know. But you gotta be on point, man. Is what I'm really trying to hone to you guys. Is as I was mentioning, like job security. You know, it's 2025, man. This AI stuff is crazy. I don't know if y'all are paying attention, man, but it's getting really kind of spooky out here for job security. That's something that's starting to get kind of creepy as far as the territory that this AI is creeping up on for people's jobs. So I'm saying, man, if you're watching this and you don't have a super secure job, you're not in you don't have a high level skill. If you have a skill that's very low wage and can easily be replaced by a prompt from some kind of AI algorithm or a machine of some sort that's getting ready to be created, Hey man, you need to get to work. You need to start playing on offense and defense and stop getting so comfortable. Because now is the worst time to kick your feet up and get comfortable. I'm telling you. It's happening faster than we think, man. People, there's truckers out here, they're losing work. Man, I see there's like a robot for construction work, for construction companies, that basically it draws out the blueprint of whatever the construction plan is on the base of the construction site. I just seen it the other day. I'm like, wow, that's genius. But it's like, yeah, of course that makes sense. Man, there's stuff coming out we haven't even thought of that's currently in the works, that's getting ready to replace a lot of people's jobs. And they don't care, man. These companies do not care about you. I repeat, these companies that you work for, corporations, they do not care about the workers. They want to replace your job with something cheap that can be more efficient. They don't have to give them lunch breaks. They don't have to pay them overtime and paid vacation off. No, you pay it one time to whoever makes the robot or whatever, and that's done. And it's just a good worker for years. And they save tons of money. And they profit more. You get me? That's the whole purpose of business, is to keep your profits up, keep your expenses low, make as much money as possible. So to survive, man, you're gonna have to get super entrepreneurial minded. Start thinking like a business. Because that's really what I think the future is gonna be. It's just gonna be made of mostly entrepreneurs and people who just kind of are collecting the scraps of the entrepreneurs. And it's really getting scary, man, if you don't have any ambition about you. But don't get mad at me. I'm just delivering the message. I'm just saying what's real. The truth needs to be spread, because a lot of people want to live in fantasy. You get what I'm saying? But anyways, security, man. If only it did exist. This country was built on no security, man. There was no security here. There was people here that got took advantage of and kicked out. The security wasn't tight. And even today, man, we aren't all the way safe. Anything can happen. We can get pulled up on and taken over by the Chinese or the Russians or whatever. Even though I doubt that would really happen. I mean, America, we don't play over here. But regardless, you can't get caught slipping. Got to stay ready for anything. Ready for everything. You got to play scenarios in your mind of what could happen, what could go wrong. I do that a lot. Man, I done been robbed at gunpoint twice in my life. Man, you don't think that does something to your mind as far as safety and security? I'm glad those things happened to me, because I kind of got those things out the way. So in the future now, I'm always keeping my head on the swivel. I'm always watching out for where I'm vulnerable. I'm seeing, man, they could really take advantage of me if I'm not paying attention right here. And it seems paranoid, and it kind of is, but you have to be like that if you don't want to get got. It's that simple. So yeah, get a little paranoid, man. See where your weak spots are, your blind spots. Find those. See where somebody can catch you slipping, whether it's physically harming you, or your job, or even if you got a business. Try to see where your business is lacking. Every business should try to put yourself out of business, because that's what your competition is trying to do. They're trying to put you and everyone else out of business. They're trying to take more of the market share. So it's your duty to be a better businessman or woman and be better, so you don't get put out of business and you can take the more of the market share. You get me? It's competition out here, man, and it's every man and woman for themselves. And it's not a, I don't think it's a negative thing. It makes the world more efficient. It makes things, we got a lot of beautiful things because of it, but it also can cost you your livelihood and the plush, lovely life you may live. But hey man, if you stay sharp and stay thinking ahead and stop getting caught slipping, you shouldn't have much to worry about. That's the good news. So hopefully you can accept the truth and it helps you to stay sharp. Don't get caught slipping. And don't think you're too safe to get caught, because it can happen to anyone. It can happen to the best of us. Trust me. Ask Charlie Kirk, man. Ask Donald Trump, man. He almost got took out of last year, So, and all the other assassin, I ain't gonna say that word, but you know what I'm saying. These algorithms be triggered by words and stuff. But anyways, hope this helps, man. Let me know what you think in the comments, if it registers with you. And hit that like button, help a brother out. And subscribe if you haven't already, man. I got more stuff on the way. But I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.